to go to Utica Brews and Barbecue. The tickets, let's see, get your tickets in advance. How much are advance sale tickets for this?
$10.
$10. Okay, maybe I have old copy here. Get your ticket online at WIBX950.com in advance. Anyway, caller 4, Andrew, we're looking for. Caller 4 just made his way back in from making his eggs. I have a few more stories that I just think are crazy. Do I have a minute before we go to this guy on workplace firing, everybody getting fired over Trump and Clinton and all that? Did you see the barber? This is a story out of South Carolina. A 65-year-old barber has been arrested. And, this goes to the cake thing. This goes to the cake issue. Like, should a private business be required to provide a cake for two lesbians when their religion is against gay marriage? Right? That question has been asked. And now here is a question for a barber. Do you want to know what it is?
I think I do. I think it's
you
came in with a Bernie Sanders sticker on your car, and I'm not cutting your hair. Right. Or Donald Trump.
Not it. Good guess, though.
Don't know.
The answer is he doesn't cut hair that is black. Not on black people. He just doesn't cut black hair. So he was arrested, 65-year-old barber, for allegedly brandishing a pistol. This is where you elevate it. One thing to say no, and the next thing to pull a pistol out and say, listen, I don't cut black hair.
You mean like...
Blonde, black. He doesn't cut black hair.
Wait, he's 65. How long has he been a barber?
I know.
37-year-old Arthur Hill, who recently moved to the state from New York, says he entered Larry Thomas's barbershop looking for a simple shave. Well, this is the victim, if you will. A simple shave on Tuesday when the barber told him, I don't cut black hair. Hill says he then asked Thomas what he meant, and the barber pulled out a gun. I said, are you referring to African-American hair? He said, yeah. So apparently it's black black people. He doesn't cut their hair. You notice, I don't think he could have gotten away with that. But the gun thing really set it into motion. He pulled a gun on the guy and said, get out. I don't want any trouble. Get out of here.
I don't want any trouble. I'm just going to pull a gun out on you.
The man says, I was shocked for my life because I'm thinking that could have been me laying on the floor dead. He did not point it at me, but it was clear in sight that he meant business. So he said, he walked out the door and he reported it, and the guy ended up being arrested.
Wow.
I thought, the way he tried to say it is, I don't cut black hair.
Yeah, like I'm not good at
it.
Right,
I do blonde. I do blonde. I do redheads. But I do not do black hair. But what he really meant by that was I don't do black people hair.
Wow.
I was thinking along the lines when you first said the story of, because barbers will say cutting an African American person's hair as opposed to cutting Caucasian is a different thing, and it takes a particular type of talent. And so at first that's what I'm thinking, it was going to be interpreted as, but then when you said he pulled out a gun, it's, well,
that's the problem. And listen, I've been to the barber and, it's tough. Yes, it's different cutting a black person's hair from a white person's hair, but then there's my hair and you need a magnifying glass and it's very precise. It's almost like conducting surgery, I think.
The barber is wrong here. Don't misunderstand me. But I have a question for this black guy. Why do you want a 65-year-old white guy who's never cut my hair before cutting your hair?
You don't want him cutting your hair anyway.
No.
I think by the time he left, he realized, I don't want this guy cutting my hair. An autistic student left his high school. This is another common sense deal. Where's the common sense? An autistic student left his high school prom in tears Saturday because officials insisted, this is in Tennessee, that his date was too old to enter. It was now the kid is autistic. He didn't have anybody to bring to the prom, so he brought his 24-year-old sister. And these morons, these idiots at this school, kicked the kid and his sister out. The two were unaware of a rule that students could not bring dates that are older than 20, according to the principal.
Which is probably a good rule.
Probably a good rule, but you know what? Where is the common sense? Blanket rules don't work today. Where's the common sense? Kid, inclusion, I just don't get it.
We should have just like a special theme song
rules
for
are
what
rules.
is wrong with us.
it's a common sense theme song. It'd be an a lack of common sense song. Because couldn't you just deal with these situations case by case? What is? No, that is the rule. You're not allowed to step across this line. I mean,
what if the kid brought his mother? Would they kick them out?
Wouldn't be allowed.
Right.
She's not. She's too old.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in other municipalities, we're applauding. There was a little girl who brought her grandfather to the prom because he had never gone to his prom.
Yes, there are plenty of stories across the country of kids who are, I want to say, less fortunate for whatever reason that might be.
Or children who are just trying to do right by one of their elders.
That's true, too. In that case, the kid was trying to
fulfill
do something right. His
or how about, when Taylor Swift showed up to some kid's prom because he couldn't find a date, and they put it on national television.
Right. How old is she?
I think she's got to be 25. This happened, so
nearly half the students in an Arkansas senior class will miss their high school graduation, and some are facing criminal charges after a prank failed. There was a lot of stuff on the floor, said one of the students. It was a little spray paint, but it wasn't that much. Do I need to read any more?
Nope.
Half the stinking class.
And they can't graduate?
Of the class are not allowed to walk for graduation. One other quickie. I don't need to read all these stories, but this is out. This could easily be in upstate New York. Car driven by a man who, I'm not sure where this story is. I'm sorry. But anyway, he got into an accident. Police ticketed him because he didn't have a proper steering wheel. You think there's a law out there in there somewhere?
Yes.
You got to have a proper steering wheel.
What
he
did
was
he
using
have?
vice grips.
Are you serious?
A pair of vice grips to steer the car.
Now, even I wouldn't do that.
I'm telling you, you could see this maybe in New Berlin, somewhere here in upstate New York. Sorry to you New Berlin people, but I could just see it. Let's see. There's one more story I wanted to get into that's brand new, and I know you guys haven't heard about it. Did you see in Seattle that 37,000 customers were out of power on Wednesday? Did you see what caused it?
No.
People are thinking, is it terrorism? It could be anything. Oh, no, it was a raccoon. Got into a transformer. I mean, things didn't work out well for the raccoon, but at the end of the day, it was that was what it caused. 37,000 people out of power. And a news story here, brand new story. There's a woman in India. I know you guys have not heard this story yet. A woman in India has become the oldest mom on record. She just gave birth to a child. Have you heard this story before?
No.
No, you haven't heard this story, but it's been all over the news. That was my setup. It was all over the news this week that a woman in India who is 70 years old on April 19th gave birth to a boy. Now, they had been trying to get pregnant their whole marriage, and I think there might have been some fertility stuff going on there, and she has given birth to a baby boy. She's 70 years old. Now, the update, you've already heard this story, the update on the story today is, I don't even know if I can say it.
Oh, no.
She's breastfeeding.
If she can, God bless her. Because
I could.
She's 70 years old.
Is she like extremely physically fit?
No, she could just leave the baby on the ground.
Oh, Andrew, again.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Was that really that worthy?
Anyway,
Okay.
it is what it is.
Everybody was thinking it.
I was not thinking that.
I did not think
but thanks for thinking that.
Actually,
way.
my thought was, good
couldn't
for this
believe-
couple that they're 70.
and
Yeah.
70 years old. The sad thing is although they are Indian, you hear these stories of these people from India. They live, I don't know what it is in the food or their exercise or their lifestyle, but they live to be like 115 years old. So
They have to. They have to pay for college.
they're going to have to. This woman's got to live another 30, 40 years for this kid.